Welcome to Raven on the Rock, Denver's way to expose unique talent and original music from local artists. With your host, Rockin' Raven. You're going to enjoy what you are about to hear on Raven on the Rock. Brought to you by Rockin' Raven Productions and the Scoop 303.
Welcome back to Raven on the Rock. I'm Raven, and I have in the studio today Mr. Taylor Marvin. How are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm so excited that you're home for break.
Me too.
You get a long break.
I do. Strangely.
You don't have to go back till January 15th.
Long time.
Lucky you.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be in the snow, though.
Yeah, and the non-Boston snow.
So tell everyone where you go to school.
I'm a junior at the Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Yay! How exciting.
Yeah.
And you love it, right?
It's awesome there. Yeah.
So how did you start with music?
I come from a really musical family, and creative family as a whole. So my dad is a percussionist and played guitar and taught banjo lessons until my mom made him quit when I was born. And my mom is a visual artist. She does graphic design and, art and stuff like that. So music was just kind of always around. My dad was the director of the high school marching band and stuff. So I guess it was never really an option to not be.
But it's something
exactly.
It's something you want to do, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that's good because you're very talented at it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, and I have a feeling if you didn't go to school, you would still be talented, right?
Hopefully, that's the idea.
Do things come naturally for you?
I think in a lot of ways, yeah. Playing, I took lessons for 5 years.
Guitar.
Getting started on guitar,
yeah. Who'd you take those with? Someone here?
Yeah, his name's Dan Polizzi, Polizzi, and he kind of jumped around. He was part of I was about to say a music education center, but it's called the Music Education Center that was in North Glen, and so there was it was studios and piano and guitar lessons and all kinds of things, and then he kind of went out on his own and did his own thing, and now I think he's still teaching in Firestone.
Yeah,
maybe
Firestone.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah,
up
he's
there.
the man.
Wow. So why Berklee?
I didn't even really know about Berklee until high school when my band director at the time, who is an alumnus, told me about it and told me about the music production and engineering program they have. Because I knew that I wanted to do music, but I didn't really know in what way. And he's like, they have this program for audio engineering. He's like, a buddy of mine did it, and now he does all the sound for Fox. So good for him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of heard about it and applied, and I found out about my acceptance from Berklee before any other scholarships applications were due for any other schools. So it's the only school I applied to, and it just worked out.
I met you January 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Was it January 12th or somewhere? That's when I wrote the article for the Scoop. I met you at the Grizzly Rose, and you were 17. You were still in high school then?
Yeah.
Wow. And now you're a junior. I must have blinked. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't be doing that these days.
Wow. Good for you.
Thanks.
So you were already very talented because you were on stage with the Groove Hogs at the Grizzly Rose.
Yeah, it's crazy looking back at all the stuff I did in Colorado and I guess around the country before college even happened.
Like what? Besides the Groove Hogs?
Let's see. I was really involved with the Colorado Blues Society and the International Blues Challenge. So I went to Memphis as a solo youth act because they have a youth division at the IBC. So I went as a solo youth act doing a kind of one-man show with a lot of looping and stuff.
Yeah.
1 year, and then the next year went back with my band, or the band that I was in. It's unfair to call it my band. We went again as youth representative, obviously not as a solo act this time, being that it was a band. So I did, the IBC thing was great. Just so much playing around. I got to sit in on a few of the Film on the Rocks concerts that they had at Red Rocks. So I got to play with, of course, the name is well, Something Underground did a big Beatles to do when they played across the universe. So they had, I think, over 40 Colorado musicians, all collaborating and playing all these Beatles songs as a tribute for the Across the Universe, and that was very cool. So yeah, playing at Red Rocks twice was kind of nuts, and
that was before you were 18.
Yeah, all sorts of New Year's stuff.
Wow. You know, there's like old men out there that haven't even been on the Red Rock stage.
It's kind of crazy.
You're really gifted and blessed.
Thanks.
And your parents really support you too.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
In a big way.
Yeah. Your dad says there's going to be comedy, drama, suspense.
You never know what's going to happen.
What's going to come out of Taylor's mouth. So we're going to play Trouble. And now tell me, this is the current is the band.
Which is ironically not current at this moment. So this is the trajectory of the group. So I started, just by myself as like a freshman in high school or whatever who couldn't find any people that wanted to play blues and stuff like I did. When eventually I got in contact with a couple guys from Golden High School, I knew them through the band program and stuff, through marching band. Elias Eiler and Dylan Camacho on drums and bass, respectively. So we formed a trio, Taylor, Marvin, and the Golden Boys, because they're from Golden High School. Yeah, that's not bad, right? So that's the group with which I went to Memphis. So we got to record at Sun Studios in Memphis. They have that's where Elvis recorded and all that. All those little guys, who are they, right? So then through the festival scene in Colorado, the blues festivals, we got in contact with Tamara Conrad, who was around my age and is a singer, and everyone said, "Oh, you guys got to play together," blah, blah, blah. And we ended up sitting in together on I think at the Mile High Blues Fest, and then we took her on as the singer, and Taylor, Marvin, and the Golden Boys turned into the Current. We started writing different music, not really as traditionally blues based, but kind of more of a rock orientation. And we recorded this album or in 2012, because right in 2012 I went to college. Tamara's in LA now. Dylan and Elias are both still in school in Colorado. Elias, I think, went from being a triple major in math, biology, and physics to just a double major now. So
darn,
he's got that under control. But yeah, so this is the Current. No longer Current.
Okay.
Still very good.
All right. And this is what Tamara, you said her name is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a listen to Trouble.
But don't buy a fool, 'cause I won't be there.
Wow. And you weren't even 20. How old were you?
18 probably.
Holy crap. Talk about talent. Geez, Taylor, do you have anything left that you can do? I mean, what are your goals?
World famous producer, recording engineer extraordinaire. That's what's next. You know, next little stepping stone.
Well, I have no doubt you can do it, dude.
Certainly hope so.
I think you will. But you're going to keep playing too, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to keep writing?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, we have to do this Buddha one because I'm dying to hear this. When I put it in the format, it is called The Rudest Nudist Buddhist.
That's right.
From the Rude Buddhas. Tell me about them.
So this was all done in my freshman year of school with...
College,
yeah. Sorry, at Berkeley. I had just gotten randomly put with two roommates. Stefan Ringer from Long Island and Keisuke Kido from Tokyo, playing bass and saxophone respectively. We didn't know each other at all, just totally hit it off though. We just got really lucky, and there were practice rooms in the dorms that we had on every floor, and so we just played and messed around, and pretty much every night we were cramped in these tiny little practice rooms. Yeah. And then a friend of ours from 2 floors down, Danny McGonigal, started drumming with us, and Stefan and I were both in the same major in music production engineering, so we had an interest in the recording thing. So we just started recording ourselves with the gear we had, and the Rude Buddhas were born, and this is...
What did you do? Just throw names in a hat and picked one out when you were
drinking? We went through
what?
So many. Well, we were what?
Come on, you didn't do that sober, did you?
So many names, so many. I can't even remember any of them.
How did you come up with the Rude Buddhist?
I honestly don't remember the Rude Buddhas. We're really into like what's assonance. Which is like rhyming but in the middle of a word.
Right.
So like the album's called Fatty Crab, and you know, song titles like Certain Circles, Secretary Carrie. You know, it's not since they're all instrumentals, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the song.
That is so very creative. So you must get that creative side from your mom, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the band just kind of became an outlet, and I guess like a playground in a way that, you know, we were in our harmony classes and our private lessons and ensembles and stuff, and we'd be learning things. And then this was a place to just go and use it or abandon it and do whatever, and whatever came out.
How fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a listen to this. The Rudest Nudist Buddhist.
Pepperdine's integrated approach to business solutions offers you access to an array of products and services through decades of experience, state-of-the-art production processes, as well as inspired technological innovation. Whether your business or organization requires printed marketing materials, promotional ads, specialty items, commercial signage, stamps, or simply functional internal forms, their dedicated staff will provide the level of personal service and support your project deserves. Pepperdine's is located at 790 Umatilla Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204, or call 303-595-3663.
Hey, this is Billy Van Kuren from the Santa Fe Band. You're listening to Raven on the Rock. More cowbell.
As always, Raven on the Rock reminds you to please drink responsibly and always designate a sober driver.
Wow, I loved that Buddhist. I mean, I was just sitting here talking to Taylor about it, and it's like there's like 5 different genres of music in there. Very cool.
Thanks.
And you're still friends with these two. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, in a big way.
I want to hear more. You guys make a great team. And to think that, you know, you have this little room you can just go in and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And
real emphasis on little, very small room.
Smaller than the studio?
Oh, and yeah.
Really?
As in, once we had the drums involved, we would have to stand on our amps.
Really?
Yeah. So to get the amps, the 4 people, and the stripped down drum set, yeah, it was awesome. The door would get all fogged up because we all look like gross and sweaty. Yeah, it was cool.
How funny.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play something live for us?
Sure.
Awesome. What you gonna do?
I only brought depressing songs.
That's okay.
Okay. Here's one that's not as bad. It's, as far as I know, it's just kind of like a folk tune, like a traditional folk tune. Bob Dylan made it famous. I don't know if he wrote it. I don't know. It's called Moonshiner.
Okay.
Obviously very autobiographical. Well, I've been a moonshiner for 17 long years, and I've spent all my money on whiskey and beers. Well, I'll go to some hollow and set up my still, and I will sell you a gallon for $10 bills. Then I'll go to a bar room where I drink with my friends, where the women can follow to see what I spend. God bless them pretty women, I wish one was mine. Well, 'cause their breath is as sweet as the dew on the vine. I'm hungry, give me drink when I'm dry. $1 when I'm hard up, religion when I die. If this whole world's a bottle and life's but a drop, and when the bottle is empty, well, it sure ain't worth a damn. Well, I've been a moonshiner for 17 long years, and I've spent all my money on whiskey and beer. Well, I'll go to some hollow and set up my still, and if the whiskey don't kill me, I don't know what will.
I need to get a clap track for my show. That was beautiful.
You can't just clap?
I could.
There we
Yay! That was beautiful.
Thanks.
You have a nice voice, too.
Thanks.
I don't think I've ever heard you sing.
That's probably for the better.
Why?
Well, no one should have to go through too much of that in one
No,
lifetime.
you have a great voice. You have a great voice. Now, why'd you pick blues? I love to know why young people pick blues.
Yeah. I hated it initially. When I was taking lessons from Dan, it was like a very holistic approach. So I did, every week I had like a classical finger picking, chord, just chord strumming. And then eventually we got into like these blues lessons where it was like a progressive book and you go through and learn different licks and, songs and stuff. And I hated it. It was the worst part of practicing, which I already didn't like. And at this time I was going through my obligatory 7th grade, well, no, this was earlier. This was like late elementary school AC/DC phase.
Yeah.
Every album, posters, everything. The book, the discographies, and learning all the tabs. And I was practicing one day and like learning some, blues lick, something like that. And I was getting all mad at it. And my dad, he was like, go grab that AC/DC book. And I brought it down. He's like, open up to any page. And I did. And he's like, okay, now play that, the blues scale you've been learning. And I played it. And he's like, did you happen to notice that every single note that's in this AC/DC song is also in that blues scale? He's like, without blues, there is no AC/DC or Led Zeppelin or Eric Clapton or any of the other stuff you're listening to. And then I guess eventually
You had an epiphany.
through that and similar epiphanies, I came to get better at it and play it more and more. And then another big step was getting involved with all the blues jams in the area.
Right.
A friend of ours told me about Tempa's jam back when it was at Kokopelli's, which doesn't exist anymore, down by Coors Field. So I went to Kokopelli's every week, and then that got shut down, and so they moved it to Cricket on the Hill. Went to Cricket on the Hill every week. That got shut down, so then they moved it to the Supreme Court, I think was what it was called. And then I think that's where it stopped because she moved to Hawaii. Poor thing.
Yeah.
I know. But through
I
that,
love looking at her pictures, though.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Through that. And the people I met there, someone also told me about Michael Hornbuckle's jam at Bushwhackers. Mm-hmm. So then for a while, it was like Wednesday nights at wherever Tempa happened to be that week, and Sundays at Bushwhackers, sometimes going to Ziggy's and wherever else. And so I was playing a lot. Mm-hmm. In fact, when I had my permit, trying to get my license, you have to log like 100 hours of daytime driving,
Right.
50 hours of nighttime or whatever. I got my nighttime driving done so quick because I would just drive to and from all the bars that I would play at as a 15-year-old. But it was the day driving that I couldn't get enough hours.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I think it was just cultivation through that, and in a big a big part of it was mentoring from Michael, not in the sense of a classroom or lessons, but just mimicking, going back and forth in a live setting. That's really what did it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's awesome, isn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I met Brian. They're the reason why I do this. I met Brian first at Bushwhackers, and I met Michael next at Ziggy's, and when I heard them, and I heard their Lost and Found CD and Pass a Torch, and it was like, oh my God, why am I listening to this crap on the radio?
Exactly.
Why aren't... And then meeting all these musicians in Colorado just blew me away.
Yeah.
And I thought, they need to be on the radio. This stuff that... I don't even want to watch the Grammys anymore. It's just, oh my God, that's music, really? I'm so my father. Oh, yeah, I grew up with AC/DC. And my father said that wasn't music. So I'm so my dad now. And someday you will be too.
I'm closer than you might think. Yeah.
What do you think about this new stuff? I mean, I believe in artistic expression, but screaming to me is not a talent.
A lot of it, and especially in studying production and stuff like I have been, I think that there is something to be gained and something to be learned from any musician doing any genre well. Most genres are easy to do poorly, and a lot of people do every kind of music poorly. AC/DC nailed rock. They did it totally right, and they did it at the highest level, and there are 6 trillion really bad versions of AC/DC. So I think at the highest levels, every genre of music and every musician that's at those levels deserves respect, because there's a crazy amount of innovation and talent that has to go into music making.
Right. And I don't put down any musician, and everybody has their own tastes and what they like and what makes them feel good. Blues makes me feel good.
Right.
So does rock and roll. But you said that they can, when they do it well, can you really do screamy metal well?
I couldn't go on
poorly?
a national tour and scream every night and continue to scream every night. It's in a weird way that, there's like an art unto itself of, there are different kinds of screaming and different ways to do it. And, those cats are really, really good at screaming. It's in a way the next logical progression in my mind from like Nirvana and grunge. Some metal fan probably just crapped his pants. Because there's, oh, no, man, it's, post-new, pre-modern 2000s black core, whatever. But it's music from people who got to the point where simply singing loudly and playing loudly wasn't good enough anymore.
Right.
And they just had to start screaming.
Yeah.
And the guys, again, that do it at the highest level have mastered it and can go out and do national tours and record albums over weeks and months and not lose their voice. So there's a...
Saturday night, Jacob Larson had a good point, and I noticed it. To me, Chris Thomas was not screaming, though. Whenever Jacob Cade plays, Chris Thomas will get up there with them, and they do Kickstart My Heart. And Jacob Larson made a comment about how Chris Thomas can scream healthy.
Exactly.
And see, to me, when Chris does that song, it's not screaming. So is that why it's healthy?
Yeah, healthy for the listener or for the singer? Whose health are we more concerned with?
I don't know, but they do that song really well, and Chris does it really well too. And I enjoy it when they do it together. But he said that, and coming from Jacob 16, you know. I'm just learning all this stuff from these young musicians, and I just love that, and that's why I like asking questions. Yeah. And I like getting you know, the different young musicians' opinions, you know, on what they think. I want to see where the world's going.
Yeah.
Should I just give up now or what? No, and like Jacob's in the blues and you're in the blues, and my own 16-year-old son in New York plays the guitar. He plays the blues. I've even sent him a few of Michael's songs to learn. But I couldn't be prouder with that.
Yeah.
You know, that just makes me feel so good. Love it. All right, well, we have to do a station identification, but we will be right back with more Taylor Marvin right after this.
You're listening to VRDO, your variety station. Visit our website at www.vrdoradio.com.
Rock all over you. Customized fashion, jewelry, and much more. Get your bling on at Rock All Over You. Check out their link on the left side of the Raven on the Rock website. Now.
Hi, I'm Kenny Lee. You're listening to Raven on the Rock.
I couldn't hit the talk button. It just wasn't clicking.
It's time to fire the talk button hitter guy.
Yeah, I wish I had a talk button hitter guy. I got to do it all myself, and I'm getting pretty good at it too. You should have saw the first couple shows. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to do the program and the mixer and the headphone thing and the computer and the chat room, and I thought I was going to have a stroke. Kate LaRue was in here with that night, and it was like, oh my gosh. And she's laughing at me, and she's like, you're doing great. Sweat's pouring down my face. But it gets easier with practice, just like your guitar.
Just like the guitar.
In your blues. So, what should we play next? You got a lot of songs here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's, I think I brought one other Freebooter's tune.
You did.
And then there's a bunch of the current stuff. So.
All right, where did it go? Where did it go? The Interchange by the Rude Buddhas. You want to tell me about this? How'd this happen?
This was the first song we did and wrote, and it is featuring a really good violinist from Berkeley named Carolyn Kendrick. And this one's kind of drawing more on. There's kind of a new school of like jazz, hip hop around, sort of spearheaded by Robert Glasper and guys like that. And this is, we like to think, kind of in that vein, but yeah, it's just fun. We just like it.
All right, here's the Interchange by the Rude Buddhas.
Well, out there in Colorado, there's a girl I know. She'd like to make your guitar. It's really nice for the show. They look good on your back, these old guitar straps. Baby, baby, Raven raps.
This is Remus Tucker. You're listening to Raven on the Rock, only on VRDO Radio.
That was what? Okay, that was just awesome. What is the difference between a fiddle and a violin?
There isn't one. You might. I mean, they call it a fiddle typically in the bluegrass roots scene.
But it's still a violin.
Same instrument, yeah.
So you can do anything you want with that thing.
Absolutely.
Obviously, because she just did.
Right.
What was her name?
Carolyn Kendrick.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the sax player.
Cascade Keto.
I asked Taylor if he was playing since kindergarten, if he had to stand on a box to get to the mouthpiece. That kid is amazing.
Yeah, Keto's the man. He's a real big bop guy, Charlie Parker, Sonny Stitt and whatnot. And yeah, so anytime that we jam together, we'd do all this stuff that's kind of, you know, in the rock, funk, fusion vein. And then he, you know, and then we'd go play like some jazz standards with him because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
But he nailed everything else.
Oh, and by the way, Taylor told me that Interchange was recorded in a little bigger room.
Slightly larger room.
So the violinist did not have to stand in the hallway.
And oh man, this is a tragic story.
Uh-oh.
We wanted to make a video of it. That was the big thing, was we wanted to have a video for Interchange. So we invited over all of our friends that had a camera, which ended up being like 3. And so we did like, I don't know, 5 takes of the song or whatever, until we finally got to the last one that we were happy with. And one of the cameras we were using had died by that point, like halfway through the song. And one of them ran out of memory in the middle of that take. And so when we were editing the video all together, I had absolutely everything that we needed up until Carolyn's solo, because we didn't have any actual video footage of that take of her solo. And then at the end, I was able to piece together like enough stuff that it kind of looked like the end of the song and it all worked. But now there's just like a 1.5-minute chunk. So the video is just in the Chronicles, the lost files, because we're missing just a little bit.
Where's Carolyn?
She's probably at her house in California right now.
Well, her parents have a video camera. Come on, Carolyn, get on that.
That would be, a little like remote, like a Skype.
Have them do it on a green screen and just piece her in.
Yeah, put the ensemble room that we recorded in as the background. You're right. I've been foolish.
Get on that. I love doing videos. It's just fun. Yeah. And it's just, when it's finished, you just feel so good, you know?
I wouldn't know. The only video I've ever made is not finished.
Come on, Carolyn, get your parents to get out that video camera. We got to make Taylor happy over here.
The proposed fix was one of our friends, Tom Scully. I happened to just have a picture of Tom on my desktop.
Yeah.
And so we just put that picture in the middle of the video, so there's just 1.5 minutes of his face. So I guess in a way it's done, depending on the crowd, you know, if they're down to just check out Tom Scully for 1.5 minutes.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
So what is the funniest thing so far that has happened to you? Do you have senior prank day in college? I don't know.
No, nothing quite like that. Even, I'm trying to think, I wasn't in town for my high school senior prank even.
No?
Because I was at a competition for winter percussion, which is it's like marching band, but in the winter and inside and no horns.
Oh.
So basically exactly the same. So I was at that competition, and the person heading up the senior prank was the, we called him head Norse because we were the Norsemen, but like student body president type thing.
Right.
And so she headed up the senior prank, but she asked permission first. Because she's got a title, you know? She has a reputation to uphold. So it was going to be like Dixie cups full of water that we put all throughout the hallway so no one could walk around. And they were like, they were like, you can do that, but the Dixie cups can't be full of water. So, I wasn't there, but apparently we just had a bunch of empty Dixie cups all over the ground as our senior prank.
Oh.
Class of 2012.
So what is the funniest thing that's happened to you at Berkeley?
At Berkeley, that's a good question.
You do have fun at Berkeley.
Oh, tons. I was at a party that was put together to make a rap video.
Get out.
No, not a professional rap video. It was a Berkeley guy. He's a film scoring student / rapper.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like, come on over, guys. We're just going to have this massive party and videotape everything to use it as roll for this party, or for this video. And then for some reason so they were like, oh, you got to look nice. You got to like wear suits. And then for whatever reason, we decided that like we didn't want to just wear suits, that we each wanted to have like a costume piece too.
Right.
So I had like a fez and a fake mustache, and like our friend Jesse had like a spaceman helmet on. So I'm in a rap video. I assume, I never saw the finished product, but I presume I'm in a rap video with a fez and a mustache on. That's not too
we
bad.
gotta find that.
Yeah, we never heard from the guy.
That'll be
I never got my commission.
Aww.
That was pretty good. And then there was one time where we were at a pizza place and we went up to order and we sat down, and then a friend of ours who's one of the biggest Steely Dan fans that you will ever meet.
Yeah.
She was like looking around and was really anxious because we're in the very back of the restaurant. And we're like, what is going on? And she's like really anxious, and she goes, so I ordered my eggplant parmesan sandwich, but I don't remember if I told the guy that my name is her name.
Right.
Omitted for protection. She goes, I don't remember if I told him my real name or if I told him my name is Donald Fagen.
What?
So that happened. That's the thing. But she might have confused herself with Donald Fagen because she's such a Steely Dan fan.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys do have fun up there, don't you?
Yeah, good times. Steely Dan humor, as only Berkeley kids would have.
So what you doing for New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, I'm going down to my friend's place in Colorado Springs.
Oh.
For a little get-together.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. It'll be the first time, second time that I've not been, like, playing a New Year's Eve gig.
Yeah.
In, 5 years or whatever. Because I did the Grizzly Rose stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Rose. Jeez. There are 2 roses in town, and the one is then Buffalo Rose. I did, and that was a great time, but I haven't done that in a while.
No.
But yeah, so it's nice to actually just hang out with people and not have to be on a stage.
Yeah. Well, Brian Hornbuckle just sent me a text. He is going to be at the Baker Street Pub in the DTC.
Nice.
Ooh, free entry. Party favors. Fun.
Very cool.
I am going to be at Toad, though, with Remus Tucker.
Oh, cool.
Because I don't like, number one, I don't like to go out on New Year's Eve. Number 2, the Toad is very close.
True. Can't beat that.
And have you ever heard Remus Tucker?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I heard
awesome.
the voice spot that he just did.
Yeah. Oh, you should listen to his show that he did. Awesome music. Awesome. Well, we had a request from someone, and I thought we were going to save are we going to save Amazing Grace for later, or you want to do it now since we got a request?
Yeah, absolutely. Heed the request. Give the people what they want.
Yeah, especially since he's paying for college.
Hey, Dad.
All right, let's see. So explain this to me. I have to do the Amazing Grace and then the other one right after.
Mm-hmm. So this started out as this song originated with Taylor, Marvin, and the Golden Boys, and then we sort of rearranged it for the current with 2 singers. It's played on a cigar box guitar that was made for me by a guy in St. Louis. And unlike a lot of the ones that are around that are like fretless and 4 strings, this one's actually just a normal fretted standard tuning guitar. But I detuned it anyway. So yeah, it's mostly slide on this cigar box guitar. This is from the Currents album, and it's 2 tracks put together, but basically just 1 track.
All right, here we go.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved
Okay, I was supposed to go to a commercial after that, but excuse my language, holy shit. Now, the people that are listening to this have to realize you guys were like 16.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Oh my God! I would have never guessed that you guys were that young. That is like so awesome, so right on. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. It's a fun one, especially live. Live, we drag out that ending, we slow it down even more. And
Yeah.
people were falling asleep by the end of it, yeah. It's nice.
Well, I'm going to keep playing that one on my show. Okay, well, I'm going to play them all, but
yeah,
that's just awesome.
I give you 3 of those CDs, so if one wears out or something, the grooves get, you know.
Holy smokes. All right. Well, I have to go to a commercial now and regroup after that. We will be right back with more Taylor Marvin.
Supporting local businesses doesn't stop with the economy. It is all about creating a stable and vibrant community. Stimulate our economy by browsing Rely Local's business directory. Saving money doesn't have to cost you, and you no longer have to weed the coupon books that fill your mailbox. Just print them from Rely Local Littleton. Rely Local has combined online job boards and newspapers to provide you with the most local jobs in the Littleton area. Get connected. We want you to be an active partner in our campaign to rebuild the Littleton economy. Rely Local Littleton, your source for supporting local businesses.
This is Raven with Eggs and Kegs Radio Show here on VRDO, and you're listening to Rockin' Raven!
All right, we are back with Mr. Taylor Marvin. I'm just speechless now. I don't even know what to ask you. Let's go back to high school.
Okay.
Did you play any sports?
I was pretty big on the in the ultimate frisbee world of Northland High School.
Really?
Yes. Senior year, because of AP classes, the AP tests ended up being like a week or two before the end of school.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the AP test, there's nothing else to do in class. And so we usually just had like a bunch of off time in the day. So yeah, man, we'd go out onto the field or in the basketball or in the gym, play some ultimate frisbee. And that was the extent of my...
Nice.
Beyond that, I did a lot of hiking and camping and stuff and continue to.
Yeah.
That's how I maintain my trim and boyish figure.
Oh. I camped once in Colorado. I used to camp all the time, and my first honeymoon was in a tent in Canada.
There you go.
Yeah. And I used to camp all the time in Illinois. And out here, it's a little nerve-wracking being in a tent. Knowing that a bear or a mountain lion could just, like, come sniffing around.
Yeah. You know. You just gotta not get eaten. It's easy. Just don't.
Just don't. Let's see. What else do I want to know about you? What do you want to tell me about you? What would people not believe about you? You watch cartoons all day?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't watch cartoons? You have to watch cartoons these days.
Don't tell me SpongeBob is your favorite.
No.
No?
Heavens, no. No. SpongeBob's a classic. You can't deny SpongeBob. I got on a little Rocky and Bullwinkle kick for a few days this semester. That was nice. That's a good little show, filled with propaganda, but good nonetheless. No, what you wouldn't believe about me, I'm an Eagle Scout and a camp counselor, a Boy Scout camp counselor.
Yes, and if you look at Taylor Marvin's Facebook page, he played a gorilla at camp.
Mm-hmm. I was Bobo the gorilla this summer for a brief time.
Yes, in a skirt.
In a hula skirt.
How'd you get involved with that?
So in Cub Scouting, there's a patch you can get called the Recruiter Patch, and you have to get 5 friends to sign. It's like a Cub Scout Ponzi scheme kind of thing. You have to get 5 friends to sign up, and then you get this little patch. And so my best friend at the time wanted that patch, and so he asked me to sign up. And then that was in 3rd grade, and then the summer before senior year, 9 years later, I got Eagle.
Nice.
So that was it. He was just trying to get a patch, and I signed a piece of paper, and then I didn't stop.
Nice. So when you're at these summer camps with these kids, they're all boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know there was like some.
Well, for the most part, there's so in 2012 and 2013, I ran a program at camp that was geared for the scouts ages like 14 to 18, like the oldest ones. And at that point, after age 14, you can become a part of another program in scouting called venturing. And venturing is co-ed. So I did have some Girl Scouts, female scouts.
But they're not Girl Scouts. They're Boy Scouts, but they're girls.
Right.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. I remember that something on the news. Some girl wanted to join the Boy Scouts, and there was like a big to-do.
There's always a big to-do because... Well,
there's always a to-do about something.
There's always a to-do.
Nobody can just be happy. You gotta make drama. Right?
I know. I'm a drama queen. I'm a drama mama.
So when you're at camp with these kids, did you ever teach music?
No, surprisingly.
No.
I was never... Music merit badge is taught at the camp at which I taught. But I never taught it. I did all the really cool stuff. Wilderness survival and first aid and camping and taught all that. And then, like I said, I ran that high adventure program, which was, it was kind of scheduleless in a way, in that the goal wasn't to earn a merit badge or to complete any requirements. It was just to give these 14-year-olds something to do because they get bored at normal camp. So we climb and bike and hike, and we climbed the upper 3 miles of Pikes Peak every week.
Whoa.
Yeah, I did that two summers straight. Pikes Peak every week.
Wow.
That was a, I'm about good on that mountain. I've seen a lot of that mountain.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I took a car up.
Yeah.
And back down.
That's kind of, it's kind of a cool and kind of a, there's so many, it's the Las Vegas of mountains, I'm sorry, but there are like 4 gift shops and...
Did you ever have the donuts?
I've had
the donuts.
I told you I did this every week. I'm no stranger to the donuts of the peak.
Those are awesome donuts, too.
High altitude recipe.
Yeah. Yum. Oh, great. Now my mouth is watering for
donuts.
A Pikes Peak donut. If anybody's up there at Pikes Peak right now listening, would you please bring me down one?
2, maybe 2.
Okay, 2. Bring Taylor one, too.
For old time's sake.
So do you have any goals of teaching? Do you want to share your magic?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the whole idea, I guess, on a grand scale, is that you should go back and teach. As far as the venue for that, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll ever really manifest as being like teaching in a school or anything like that.
Just mentoring? Yeah,
mentoring and, in the way that Michael did me, or in a studio scenario, in the recording scenario. There's still something to be said for starting as an intern, getting coffee, and working your way all the way up. And it'd be kind of cool to mentor someone who's getting me coffee someday. But first I got to get a whole bunch of coffee for other people.
It'll happen. All right, let's hear some more Taylor Marvin.
Okay.
What can we play?
It's all there. It's all
here.
Yeah, it's all music.
Till You Burn?
That's a good one.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, opening track of the Currents 2012 release Shift.
Now, if people want to get your CD, besides the 2 that I have to give away in the future, where can they get them?
Go to www.taylormarvin.com and we'll work something out. The Currents website, the Currents website doesn't exist anymore, and my website is woefully under updated. When you log on, there's still a pop-up that says check out Taylor's new band, The Current, and then you click on that and it takes you to the
nowhere.
The link that doesn't exist anymore. But you can still contact me through that page and we'll get you an album.
Nice. All right. Well, let's take a listen to Till You Burn by The Current.
sceneries for me now, but I think you will see that I've got the moves in me. I've got a turn in me, child. Yeah, I wanted to knock you right off your feet. Would you move and love my turn till you burn? Cause I let your taste be mine as long as you hold me tight. Yeah, when I bow, yeah, when I bow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, till you burn. Just wonder what I'd do if I was holding you tight. You gotta shake to you, boy. Something I can't taste. You got the moves that I like, but making sweet with your kiss and making love with the bite. Oh yeah, I'll tell you burn. I'll tell you burn. Cause I let you taste me.
This is Marisol with the Cymbals, and you're listening to Raven on the Rock.
Amazing, amazing. That is still blowing me away that you guys were like 16.
Yeah, we reminisce often, wishing that we wouldn't have had to kind of part ways.
Maybe someday you'll get back together.
The reunion tour.
Yeah. Let's work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You just are, the night I met you and I was watching, you didn't sing that night.
See, and you loved it.
And I loved, well, you're funny. I think you have an awesome voice. I think you should sing more. Like more Bob Dylan and, yeah. You want to sing another live one for us?
Yeah, I could do that. Here's one called Birds on a Wire. Oh, this one's an original. Counting birds on a telephone wire, counting ways I'll never be a liar, counting words they'll never be for hire. I'm counting birds on a telephone wire, and I'll wait for the storm, look forward to the eye. And I don't know what we're running from, but I know my faith, and I know he knows the guy. Now the rain gives a voice to the water. And your beauty is the eye of this beholder. And you try to cry, but it gets hotter. 'Cause the air you breathe is Mother Nature's martyr. And I'll wait for the storm, look forward to the eye. And I don't know what we're running from, but I know my faith and I know he knows the guy. Counting birds on a telephone wire, counting ways will never be a fire, counting words will never be for hire, counting birds on a telephone wire.
You have an awesome voice. Awesome.
Thanks.
You need to sing more. Wow. And you wrote that song?
I did.
What made you write that song?
My
It had nothing to do with birds on a telephone wire, did it?
You'd be surprised. I don't know. It's, well, you know, my mom told me, and probably her mom told her, and her mom told her. But if you pay attention, whenever you see a whole bunch of birds lined up on a telephone wire, a storm's about to come.
Really?
It's a thing. Total thing. And so that's kind of what it's about. It's, you know, kind of like it's like a premonition of sorts, seeing birds on a wire.
Nice.
And it's something that you can kind of appreciate on its own, but you're like, oh, well, that means there's a storm coming. I look forward to the eye.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a pretty metaphorical guy. It's like no big deal.
Okay, I've got a question for you then.
Yep.
Before electricity and telephones, what did the birds do before a storm?
Probably got in trees. Or maybe power lines existed before electricity. I think they're a natural occurrence and we just harness them to move.
You know, that did happen about a month ago, and it freaked me out because I was coming down the street and every tree on Saratoga was like loaded with blackbirds. And you're right, it did start storming.
And the strange thing, the other day, I saw a bunch of birds lined up on a building, but none on wires. And so that must be it's like an update. I think they had some kind of consortium and decided maybe building means like snowstorm.
Yeah.
I think they're getting more advanced with it.
Right.
Yeah.
How many of those birds go to Berkeley?
Too many.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's listen to the looks. What's this one about?
This is another one that I wrote originally. This is finally blues. You brought me on the show to play blues, and you're finally...
No, I brought you on the show to be Taylor Marvin.
So this is a blues tune that I wrote, and it was... it's a duet of sorts. So you'll hear Tamara and I both singing.
Nice.
Yes.
I can't wait for that reunion tour. All right, let's take a listen to the looks.
Let's get together tonight. I ain't got nothing to do. Let's get together tonight. I ain't got nothing to do. 'Cause I like the looks you give me, but I love the looks your mama gave you.
Let's get together tonight. I ain't got nothing to do. Let's get together tonight. I ain't got nothing to do. 'Cause I like the looks you gave me, but I love the looks your mama gave you.
This is Taylor Marvin, and you're listening to Raven on the Rock.
That is just unbelievable. I love that song. I love them all. We have to listen to the rest of them. So, what's your plan, Taylor? You're gonna graduate.
I'm gonna graduate. That's immediate future, and then it's about working in studios. I want to go into the engineering and mixing side of things.
Any special genre?
No, not really.
Just all of them?
Yeah. It's hopefully a genre that no one knows about yet. I guess that's the idea.
Oh, don't scare me.
It's just going to be screaming. No instruments even. Just 6 people on stage just screaming their hearts out.
Oh, God help me. As long as it's healthy.
It'll be the healthiest screaming this side of the Mississippi.
Oh goodness. Any special place?
I mean,
looking at
New York and LA are kind of the meccas, obviously, but with how easy it is now to for people to record at home, and you don't have to be in a full massive studio, and you can move files around to anywhere, and it's starting to matter a lot less where you're actually based.
So if I win the lottery and I build my dream studio that I want, you'll come and
I'll
do
be
it
your house
there.
engineer.
Yeah. And you can become famous there.
That's right. Speaking of, I've been meaning to mention all the current.
You won the lottery?
I won the lottery, and there's construction guys here now. All the stuff we've been listening to for that was recorded at Coop Studios in Boulder. I meant to plug them. They did a crazy good job because all of it was recorded, mixed, mastered in a day.
Wow.
Usually it would be like a weeks long process, but we were like, hey, guess what? We have no money, so can you guys do this in a day? And you can hear the results were really, really great, especially considering, like, what was it, 11 tracks?
Yeah.
Totally just finished in a day.
And they're still there?
Still there, still rocking. So I wanted to plug Coop. But yeah, on that note, Side 3 Studios in Denver is one I was just at the other day. And, Kanye West, Justin Bieber, they've had some, like, really big names coming through, and it's, like, in an office park in Denver.
Yeah.
And, so, as travel gets cheaper and it gets easier to move files around digitally and stuff and record anywhere, I think it's New York and LA will probably always, or at least for a long time, sort of be where a lot of artists and engineers and stuff are based, but you can kind of do it anywhere.
Yeah. Well, my dream is to make Denver the music capital of the world.
I'll help you. We'll start.
And I mean, come on, Taylor. Look, you and oh my gosh. There are just so many amazing musicians here, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Let me get my man on it.
A blimp?
We need a zeppelin.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We've got top men.
If any of you out there have any suggestions on how to get Denver to be the music capital of the world, Facebook.
Send them to me.
Yeah. All right, Caution Boy.
Caution Boy. This is a current the current original, not a Golden Boys thing. So this was written with Tamara, and her lyrics and music, and it's a good one.
All right, here we go.
Caution boy, you're coming closer now. I'm not your toy. You think you got it, but I'll just sit away. So don't be playing with my love. Don't be playing with my love. You come take me out to all the best clubs where you tell me around to show me all your boys. Oh, but you don't really know just what you got, so you should remember, baby, cashing boy, you're coming closer now. I'm not your toy. You think you got it, but I'm secret. So don't be playing, don't be playing with my love. Don't be playing with my love. Oh, sure enough, you mess it up. Oh, and then you'll pay, but baby, I've got to pay. I just play out, well, honey, I've got to gain. So you should remember, baby, cashing boy, you're coming closer now. I'm not your toy. You think you got it, but I'm secret. So don't be playing, don't play with my love. Don't be playing with my love. Don't be playing with my love. Don't be playing with my
You're listening to VRDO, your variety station. Visit our website at www.vrdoradio.com.
So, Taylor, how do you write a song?
Oh, it can happen any number of ways. That one in particular, I think it started with the riff, which I'll however it went. That was fun.
So you just picked up your guitar?
Yeah, so I dug that riff and I was playing around with it, and then Tamara had lyrics, and I think on that particular one she had like a melody in mind for the lyrics too.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of worked on putting a fitting chord progression to those lyrics. But it can come in any number of orders, and sometimes you have a lyrical line in your head, and then you put music to it and you write the song in 15 minutes.
Right.
And sometimes you have a chord progression that you like, and 3 months later you have something that you're slightly content with. And
slightly content.
Yeah. Can be any number of ways.
Are you very, what's the word I want? Are you very particular?
When it comes to...
Perfectionist? Do you like write something and rewrite it and write it again? And
Yeah, I can be. I try not to be, though, because I believe a lot in gut instinct, and that if the longer you sit there and stare at something increasingly closer and closer, the less it
right,
looks like the object that it actually is.
Right.
It's some weird perversion that you just wasted 4 hours on.
Right. I used to do that with wedding cakes.
Yeah.
I made wedding cakes for 27 years, and the more you play with the frosting to make it smooth, the more it's not smooth.
There you go.
So you have to learn when to stop and say, okay, that's perfect.
Exactly. Or as perfect as I'm going to make it, yeah.
Do you think a lot of songwriters out there could be great songwriters, but they're too perfectionist Perfectionistic.
Yeah, I think people get in their own heads a lot, and also I think it's really detrimental to people who don't collaborate and take input. I'd never, on the acoustic stuff I've been playing, like I never really had anyone to collaborate with. And someone to say, well, maybe you should actually have a chorus for this song.
Yeah.
Things like that. And people get so closed off to that kind of thing. And even like music consumers have like this really heavy reliance, or like, I guess like affinity with artists who write their own stuff. Like, oh, and he writes her own stuff. Or like, did you even hear that like she doesn't even write her own songs? Like, when it used to be a whole part of the structure of the music industry that artists weren't really supposed to. You had the record company, you had songwriters who published their songs, and then an A&R guy who would, the R stands for repertoire, he would pick the repertoire of the artist, that's what the A stands for, that he was working with, and he would match songs to Frank Sinatra or whomever. And Elvis, the luminaries of, the ye olden days of music, didn't write anything. And the songs were picked out for them and crafted by songwriters and arrangers and producers, and that's how that stuff got made. And it wasn't until the advent of the singer-songwriter, Billy Joel, James Taylor, and those cats that got sick of just writing songs for people and wanted to perform their own stuff.
Right.
That, like, we kind of got this reliance on it, I think.
Nice.
So that's an interesting bit.
Yeah, and I like that. I think when people take the time to write their own songs, they should perform them.
Yeah, exactly.
And well, I guess there are people out there that have great voices who can't write squat.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for like a really delegated process.
And I'm sure there's people out there that can write songs but can't sing.
Can't sing. Yep.
Yeah, so put those people together.
Yeah, exactly. And then they work together, and then and then you can really hone in on good ideas and throw out what's bad, and getting second opinions is really important, which I never did, and that's
not even your dad.
Oh, my dad would help, but I don't. I was surprised my parents with songs so many times. I would be at a show and be like, "This is a new one,"
and they didn't even know.
Like a what? Yeah.
All right. Well, how about I Need You?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Another current original, kind of Maroon 5 based, old Maroon 5.
Yeah.
When they still had a drummer and musicians besides Adam Levine.
Is he like the only one in Maroon 5 now?
It seems to be him and a computer. I don't know. I shouldn't say that.
Oh. Maybe he'll call in to correct you.
Hopefully, then I get to talk to Adam Levine. That'd be cool.
All right, here's I Need You by The Current.
Is that really you standing at that door? Every day I primp and pray that you notice my more. But simply glad I'm by with your morning joy and so simple black without hot rap. You walk right through the door, yeah. What do I have to do to make you love me too? I'm standing tall, but I'm under it all due to you. And the days you stop and linger at the
Still blowing me away. Oops.
Oh.
16 years old. Wow. Do you miss that?
A little bit.
But are you excited for what's ahead?
Very much so.
Yeah.
I haven't been playing or writing as much in the last couple years, but I don't regret it at all because I've been doing a ton of stuff that excites me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. You're not even 21.
Tell me about it.
You are just so talented and you have done so much, and I think you're just going to go great places.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to know you. Yes, I know Taylor Marvin. I knew him when? I knew him before I graduated high school. Wow. All right, we're going to leave it running.
That's a good one. That's another Golden Boys tune that we had adapted for the current that I like a lot. We kind of changed some of the arrangement too. It grooves pretty hard, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So this was before Tomorrow, or you
written before
rearranged
Tomorrow,
it?
and then once in the venue of the current, we reevaluated it, changed it around, changed the key most namely for her voice.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a listen. Leave it running.
Crying alone. I hear you turn off the engine, see you turn off the lights, but you ain't staying here tonight. So leave it running, just leave it running. Oh, just leave it running. You can go to St. Louis 'cause I'm in misery. You can go to El Paso, it's the same to me. You can go to New York or down to LA. All I know is you just can't stay. So leave it running, just leave it running. Oh, just leave it running. I caught you with another girl when you thought I wasn't home. I caught you with my best friend talking on the phone. I can't stand you no more with all of your driving. You've been driving me mad, so just keep just leave it running. Just leave it running. Oh, just leave it running. Yeah, this won't be too high, baby. You know what to do. You seem there are plenty girls you can run home to. You better find the queen, 'cause you're the king of sin. And I don't care where you go, 'cause I know where you've been. So leave it running, just leave it running. And oh, just leave it running, just leave it running, just leave it running. Oh, just leave it running.
All right, so I have a question. I asked Chris Fairbank this last night. He was on my show, and he's 21. How do you, you're only 20, and you were 16 when you did these songs. How do you write these songs? Leave it running? Because you're not, I mean, come on, you're 16. They're awesome.
Thanks.
Really, 16? I must have had a bad childhood or something. I mean,
I listened a lot, listened. At that time, I was into a lot of, classic rock and Stevie Ray Vaughan and all that stuff. Right. And so I got the blues
gist of it.
Thing, I got what I was supposed to be writing about, so I made it up. Made up a whole bunch of failed marriages and, dead dogs and whatever else I needed to write the blues.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, that's why my childhood was so different, because Rob and Laura Petrie slept in separate beds. So.
Yeah.
I mean, Tylenol couldn't mention Advil on the commercial, and
wow.
Oh yeah, it was way different back then. People were nicer.
Yeah, not so much. And it's fun. I got a kick out of writing lyrics a lot, especially in like middle and high school, because I would just like pack way too many words into them and make a bunch of jokes. Like, you can go to St. Louis because I'm in misery.
Oh,
I know, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so I like making jokes that no one will ever notice, and when they do, they go, "Oh God, seriously." You said that? Come on, man. That's
I think that's awesome.
I think it's pretty funny.
It is hilarious.
So yeah.
So do you do you ever do like solo shows by yourself?
I did, and like I said, before the Golden Boys, I was doing a bunch of these songs solo, and that was pretty fun.
Do you like tell jokes in between?
I tried. You can only do so much, Sorry, you can't. I never got to the point of having like an act,
No. I can picture you though doing that. Musician, comedian. I can see that. I can so see that. Well, guess what? We had another request.
Oh?
Yeah. It's the last song we have.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Tell me how you wrote it.
Good thing they requested it.
Do you know what, do you know what it is?
Let me think through it. This must be...
Someone said it's beautiful. That would be your dad.
Oh, this is it's why am I blanking? Oh, this is embarrassing. I know which one it is. Moving on. Thank you. Moving on. Jeez. Oh, can you cut that? Can we edit this? Is there like a 7-second delay? Can we? This song is called Moving On. This was all. This started with Tamara, if I recall. She had the lyrics, and then we decided that it. I always used to make the joke that we wrote it on a day that we were mad at the drummer. There's no drums in it. But it's really beautiful lyrics and a really nice melody, and so we wanted to respect that. So it was basically built around everyone doing their best to stay out of the way of the vocal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good one.
She wrote it, or you wrote it together?
I mean, she wrote the lyrics. We wrote all the songs together.
Okay, but these are her lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's take a listen to Moving On.
Not the first to love you, you've been there before. But you're the first to love me, so the story goes. This ain't the last you'll hear if you were around. But love can't last with fear, and I feel we've hit the ground. There ain't nothing here that's a trying for. And time has passed, I'm drowning in my tears. Now we're here at last, but you leave me here. And I'm moving on. to fade. I've been wishing you're here to stay. 'Cause there ain't nothing here that's worth trying for. And time has passed, I'm drowning in my tears. Now we're here at last, but you leave me here. Oh. And I'm moving on. The first to love you.
That was beautiful.
It's a nice one.
A very nice one. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, thank you.
That was
Happy to do
fun.
it, yeah.
I'm so glad I caught you while you were home on break.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
Will you be back for spring break?
I'm not sure yet. I think I'll be going to New York to scout out some studios.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not unless I win the lottery first.
Yeah, so I've been meaning to ask you if you could really just get on that and win that lottery. You know.
I will get a ticket in the morning. You should see my studio I designed.
Yeah?
It's beautiful. It's all wood.
Ooh.
I would have to find the pictures. I don't know where they're at right now, but
yeah, I'd love to see.
I will if I find them. Because I have like 5 hard drives right now.
That's the life.
And I was trying to organize things. So, yeah, but if I find them, I will Facebook message them to you.
Cool.
And yeah, then you can make your decision if you want to wait or
right.
Just don't sign, the 10-year contract with anybody. And it's minus 8 degrees out tonight, so you be careful driving home.
Oh, thank you. Yikes.
And you have an awesome New Year's in Colorado
right.
Springs. Are you spending the night down there? Please say yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And all you people out there, tomorrow night, I will not have a guest host, but I will be on the air until 8 o'clock, at which point I will be heading over to the Toad Tavern to ring in the new year with Remus Tucker and the staff at the Toad. It's probably going to be really cold tomorrow, too, huh?
It'll be warm with the hope of a new year.
Nice. 2015 is gonna rock.
I believe it.
I feel it.
It just sounds good.
It does. 2015.
Mm-hmm.
2015.
Much better than 2014.
Sounds like a song. Prince wrote 1999. Get on that.
2015.
Okay. We're gonna be watching for Taylor Marvin's song 2015.
Hitting apparently the top of the country charts. Just what spoke to me.
Well, thank you again so much for coming in tonight. I had fun.
Thank you. Me too.
And I learned so much about you I didn't even know. And wow. And I get to play all these songs on my show in the future, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. And you're going to send me more, right?
As they come.
As they come. I know you're busy right now and you're not ready right now, but yeah, don't stop doing that.
Okay.
You do it so well. And you sing so well. I know you're rolling your eyes over there. I see that. I cannot believe you have an awesome voice.
Thank you.
It's perfect for the blues. I don't understand what you're thinking.
You're right.
All right, you people out there, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. This show will be in the archives if you want to listen to Taylor Marvin and the Current and the Rude Buddhas again.
Which I'm sure you will.
Yeah. And hopefully Taylor will be back soon and we can have him on another show. Alrighty. And always remember, only you can make your dreams come true.
That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back. Raven on the Rock is brought to you by Rockin' Raven Productions and the Scoop 303. I'd like to give a shout out to our musical credits for our intro, The World Famous Johnsons, our exit, Garco, and our Raven Raps commercial by Michael Hornbuckle. I'd like to thank Rely Local Littleton for sponsoring us, and you can check out all our advertisers on the left side of our website, ravenontherock.com. I'd also like to thank all the amazing musicians in Denver and around the world for sharing their music with us.